O'Neill Outside Radio is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Zach Brown Southern Grind Knives. Only the best make the cut. The Whitetail Institute of North America, the gold standard for food plots. Tough Shed, great storage sheds and custom buildings. Works, power and garden tools. Fisher's Choice, the ideal solution to live bait. True Turn Hooks, hook more fish. Roadrunner Lures, outfishing ordinary lures since 1959. Crocodile Bay Lodge, Costa Rica's best fishing and resort destination. And by O'Neill's new Real Gun and Marine Oils, naturally the best. From Black Powder Headquarters and the Bojangles Studio at Three Falls Cabin in the North Georgia Mountains, it's time for O'Neill Outside. For anything in the outdoors, this is your source. Listen in and call the show with your comments or questions. And now, here's O'Neill.
Well, not O'Neill. Scott Maxim filling in for O'Neill this morning. Good morning and welcome to O'Neill Outside. This is the special Father's Day edition of the show, meaning quite simply, I'm going to solicit every one of you for calls about your dads. Special Father's Day outdoor adventures. We want to hear about them. 404-892, well, let's try that again. 1-800-WSB-TALK. That's 1-800-972-8255. Inside the metro area, 404-872-0750. We got a big show ahead of us, and let's kick it off by letting you know who's got us here. 95.5 AM, News 95.5 and AM WSB. They got us in the south. Up north, we're broadcasting live on WEEI Boston, the flagship station of the Red Sox, and coast to coast nationwide on SB Nation Radio. We got a lot of other stuff in store for you here as well. The Medal of Honor recipient is on the way. The big old radio prize package we give away every week to those of you who listen to the program. And the Ram Fishing Report coming up a little later with Captain Mac Farr. And your calls, again, 404-872-0750. We're going to have ourselves a great day talking about Dad. And why don't I kick it off a little bit here, tell you about an outdoor adventure I had with him really quickly. This was about when I was 16 years old, and we had moved overseas to Holland with my dad's job working for Maersk Sealand. And while we were there, Dad said, hey, you know what? Let's take this opportunity to go out and do a little offshore fishing in the North Sea. It could be a lot of fun. So we packed up our gear. We headed for the shore, jumped on the boat, headed out in the North Sea. And then things got weird. Started turning really dark, started drizzling all over the place. Waves were pitching the boat up and down, left and right, and nobody was catching anything. What was being pulled out of the water was these joke little fish about 6 inches long, not worth your time, certainly not worth your effort, but, you know, the Dutch folks were having fun. Myself and my brother and my dad, we made our way to the bar on board the boat, had ourselves our first father-son beer, and said, to heck with the fishing. Let's just hang out and have a good old time. So we're going to do the same here. Give us a call, 404-872-0750, and we'll be right back with more O'Neill Outside. Good morning and welcome back to O'Neill Outside. Time for the Southern Grind Mailbag, brought to you by Zach Brown Southern Grind Knives. They're Georgia-based, American-made, and unparalleled in quality. See for yourself online at southerngrind.com. And if you have a question for O'Neill that you'd like to answer, shoot it on over to the mailbag at o'neilloutside.net. You'll see it about halfway down the page. Just sign the Southern Grind guest book, and you can have your question answered by O'Neill and possibly win one of those awesome Southern Grind knives. Let's take a look at what we have here in the mailbag this week. First question comes from Andy Heath. He's the winner for this week's edition of O'Neill Outside. His question originates from Phoenix, Arizona, and is as follows. I watch your show every Sunday morning and really enjoy it. It seems like no matter whether fishing or hunting, the most common tool we all carry is a knife. Can you tell us about the different metals, stainless, high carbon, etc., that are used in making knives and what the differences are regarding sharpening and uses? Thank you very much. Well, O'Neill responds, high quality, long-lasting knives are expensive but worth it. I don't collect knives because I'm not a collector. I collect my knives, and I've picked Southern Grind knives because the source metal materials are top quality, super hard, will stay sharp, holding an edge, and remain functional and will last a lifetime. Southern Grind knives are made to use and keep forever. And what you want to look for with these knives, of course, quality steel is first and foremost the most important thing. But a cheap knife is also going to fall apart on you at the screw points. Wherever that knife is put together with screws or whatever, inevitably on a cheap knife, it'll fall apart. Not so with the Southern Grind. Check them out. You can find them online at o'neilloutside.net or at southerngrind.com. Next question from Steve Arnold in Crystal River, Florida. He writes, during your shows, you offer great fishing tips. I recently retired and moved to beautiful Florida. Can you advise on techniques to locating fish on the flats? Thanks again. Well, here's O'Neill's answer. Yes, hire a guide. A few times go out with him, tell him what you want to learn about, and the fish are, and he'll tell you where the fish are. He'll tell you what to use, what baits to use, what strategies to use. And beyond that, it's just a question of getting out there, gaining a little experience on your own, having a little fun, and casting a line. So really, that's what it boils down to. Whenever you're in a new area or whenever you're going to a new lake or a new fishing hole, bring a guide. They know the area best. They'll set you up to win, and they'll answer any questions you have right on the spot. Next question from High Point, North Carolina. Brody and Wyatt Sutton write, my young boys and I love your show. We always enjoy watching this together and learning something new. We surf fish a lot on weekends, but wanted to know how to properly take care of the reels after fishing. It seems like we're having to replace the reels each year due to salt damage. Okay, O'Neill responds, soak them in a bucket of fresh water. Don't spray them with a hose. That will only drive the salt water and undesirable material deeper into the gears of the fishing reel. What he suggests instead is taking the reels and dropping them in a bucket of fresh water and just let them stay there and soak for a while. After they've soaked, pull them out, spray them down with O'Neill's oils. O'Neill's oils penetrate the narrow spaces better than other oils, and they also last up to 5 times as long as conventional reel oils. Plus, they don't smell weird, so that's an extra bonus there for you. And there you go, Brody and Wyatt. Another question for you there. And finally, I have a question here from, is that it? I believe there was one more. No, that's it. So, if you have a question for O'Neill, go on to o'neilloutside.net, hit the Southern Grind guest book, and you'll see a big old sign there that says Enter Now. Punch that button, enter your information, and O'Neill may answer your questions. In the meantime, it is the Father's Day edition of O'Neill Outside, and I'm looking for your calls. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. And as we start the morning, here's Don calling us from, where you at, Don?
Ocean Isle, North Carolina.
Outstanding, sir. Good morning to you, and happy Father's Day. How you doing today?
Doing good, Scott. How about yourself?
Well, I am slowly but surely getting caffeinated enough to function, sir. But other than that, we're doing fine.
All right. Well, we got 57 degrees over here this morning. I thought I was going fishing, but I believe we're going to kill hogs this weekend. So.
Oh, that sounds like a plan. What's the game plan as far as the weapon of choice for said hogs today?
No, I was messing with you.
I mean, geez, come on, man. I'm thinking you're a multi-purpose kind of guy here.
Well, I am, but it's just too cold to fish, so we're going to kill the hogs. That's the old days. We killed hogs on a cold day, so sorry about that.
Oh, no problems. I just thought maybe you did a little something extra on the side there, Don.
We got this weekend is the somewhere between 35 and 40 years of the Shalote Point Flounder Tournament. It happens every second Saturday in June, and we got about 150 boats that fish that thing, and all the fish they catch, they clean, and then on Saturday night they have a big fish fry.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. The Shalote Point Fire Department did it for a long time to raise money, and then they got put on the tax program, so they turned it over to the Shriners. and the Shriners handle it now, and they do an excellent job with it. So.
Yeah,
and,
what don't
and
the
all
Shriners
the money
work
goes
well with?
to this, the Shriner Hospital. So.
Oh, that is an extremely worthy cause, man. Anytime you can help out the Shriners and the Shriners hospitals, that is a bonus for whatever you're doing.
Yeah, and flounder fishing has been really good over here this spring. A couple of years ago, it was terrible.
Well, let me
But
ask you this
year
real
has
quick,
been
Don.
excellent. Big fish to start out with.
Is it the warmer weather early on that brought the better fishing conditions?
I don't know. I know 2 years ago, the water was so cold, we didn't have any brown shrimp for the whole year, for the summer, for the spring.
Oh, wow.
But then that fall, the white shrimp came in, and they were bigger than ever. So, who knows, so.
Yeah, nature will fill one void when it appears. So, yeah, that makes sense. So, no fishing at all this weekend, huh, Don? Not even going to go out tomorrow?
Yeah, we're doing the flounder tournament. We don't do there. We'll go there and participate in the dinner, and then maybe we'll do some offshore fishing first of the week.
Well, that sounds like a game plan, sir, and sounds like a lot of fun. Hope you have fun.
Yeah, we got to run now about 65 miles to get to the Gulf Stream, but normally we'll go 50 mile out and fish bottom fish for grouper and snapper and what have you. So.
Oh, that sounds like too much fun, my friend. Well, I appreciate you checking in with us here again, Don. And,
enjoy it. Enjoy your show and O'Neill's show. That's
it's just all O'Neill's show.
The board that you did a great job. I've always enjoyed talking to you.
Well, thank you very much, Don. And you are a fixture here as well. We love hearing from you, and we love hearing what's going on in Ocean Isle, North Carolina.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
You do the same, sir, and enjoy your Father's Day.
Thank you, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow Don, 404-872-0750. We're talking up Dad here for Father's Day. He's the guy that generally is the one that's introducing you to the outdoors. But here's the thing, too. If somebody else took his place, you can talk him up, too. Uncle, friend, neighbor down the street. If they were the ones helping you out, talk them up as well. But, again, today it's all about Dad. What did he do that was memorable with you? What did he do? Let me ask you this. What are you planning to do for Dad? Do you have any game plan this weekend to take him out hunting or fishing? If you don't, you need to make one, I think. Get on out there with Dad, show him some love, and get out in the outdoors, why don't you? 404-872-0750 is the number, 800-972-8255. We're going to take off here in just a bit, but when we return, we're going to have the radio prize pack question. And O'Neill has got a nice prize pack waiting for somebody who listens to the show. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to O'Neill Outside on News 95.5 AM 750 WSB, WEEI Boston, the home of the Sox, and SB Nation Radio, coast to coast. Don't go anywhere. Come on back. We'll see you in a few. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. O'Neill Outside special Father's Day edition here, coming at you live and on the air this morning. Looking for calls about Dad for Father's Day, outdoors adventures, what you got planned, great things in store for him this weekend. And we'll kick off this segment here with the Radio Prize Pack. This is for all of you who listen to O'Neill Outside. If you're fans of the show and you listen regularly, you should be able to get these questions pretty easily. And we do this to reward our listeners here at the program and not to reward people who have excellent Google search skills to find answers to questions. So, without further ado, the Radio Prize Pack this week consists of a Swaggerty's voucher for grocery store usage, a Whitetail Institute DVD, Realtree hat and decal, Data Fish and Game Forecaster, 2 cans of Fisher's Choice baits, Thunder Chicken by Captain Mark Noble. It's a casting float. Sounds cool. Thorogood Boots hat, an Arctic Ice freezer pack, and those will keep your cooler super nice and cold. 2 packets of Bug Band and a wristband to go with that. A selection of True Turn tackle, and a $10 Bojangles gift card to eat some awesome chicken with next time you swing by there. The question this week would be, what brand of knives sponsors O'Neill Outside on radio and television? Shouldn't be too hard, We've been talking about them all morning so far. Give us a call if you have the answer. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255, and you can receive that awesome package. Let's go back to the phones. We've got a call here from John in Gillette, Georgia. He's got a Father's Day for us, Father's Day story for us. Good morning, John. You with us this morning?
Yes,
Hello,
I am.
John. Oh, awesome to hear. So,
Yes.
so welcome to O'Neill Outside. You have a story about Dad for Father's Day.
Yeah, I do. I listen to O'Neill every Saturday morning on my way to work, and I heard this, and it just kind of touched my heart. My dad's no longer with me, but back when I was a lot younger, I used to visit him a lot down in North Florida, and we'd go fishing in little ponds out in the Lake City, Florida area, either Ocean Pond or Watertown Lake. And my dad was real adamant about not keeping his fishing alive well. He liked to keep them on a stringer hanging outside the back of the boat.
Right.
And we'd stroll around the lake, and we'd catch fish. But or that we'd be catching fish, we'd have to be beating the alligators away from the fish because they'd be chasing us around the lake, trying to get the fish off the
So it's a
stringer.
fishing trip and a gator fight at the same time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it
Outstanding.
just brought back good memories to me. It really did.
Well, that's awesome, man. And wow, that's a great memory. I don't think too many people can say that they've gone fishing with gators chasing them.
Yeah, well, that was almost an every fishing trip issue with my dad because the stringer, in fact, he just didn't like live wells. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, each to his own, I suppose. Maybe he just enjoyed messing with the fish, towing them behind the boat. Who's to say, my friend? But thanks for the call. Thanks for that awesome memory about Dad. Again, I don't know too many people can say that they've been chasing off gators while out fishing with Dad. That's pretty awesome.
Okay. Thank you very much for taking my call.
No problem. Have yourself a wonderful and awesome Father's Day weekend. All right. If you want to get in line and be next to make your call and talk about Dad, what you did within the outdoors, what you're planning on doing on the outdoors, a very memorable trip, phone numbers are 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255. That'll put you in line here to talk to yours truly. I've got some numbers here up on the board. Let's see if we've got one ready to go here. I'm going to try this one. Hello. Here we go. Let's try this guy. I don't have any names on the board as yet. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so Justin's on. I just got word from the headquarters there that Justin's online with our winner, so we will take that information and find out who's the winner of that prize pack. In the meantime, once again, this is the Father's Day edition of O'Neill Outside. Give us a call, 404-872-0750, and you can tell us all about your dad and what you got going on this weekend, a memorable trip or something that he just did that really was memorable for you when it comes to the outdoors. Now, for those of you who know me, I'm kind of a shooter more than anything else. I like my guns, going out to the target range, skeet, trap, that sort of thing. And in my collection, I have a single favorite gun. And let me tell you about this piece, if I may, because it kind of ties into the whole Father's Day thing. Back in, I'd say the 50s, my father lived in Wisconsin in a little town called Coon Valley, and I am, yes, wearing the Coon Valley hat for those of you who can see me on SB Nation Radio today on the video feed. Coon Valley hat is on, loud and proud for my dad. And he was an avid hunter when he was younger. And one of the things he liked to do was to go out in the woods and hunt squirrels and rabbits and other small game. And he decided he wanted to buy himself a gun to do that. So he saved up his money and at 13 decided that he was ready for his first gun purchase. He himself walked down to the local hardware store, picked out a little Mossberg 142 22 caliber rifle on the wall, and took it home. And it became his buddy. That became his hunting tool. And he went out and he potted a lot of squirrels and rabbits with that gun, had a lot of great feasts and a lot of great meals with it. Well, fast forward, Dad moved on, he got older, and the gun kind of just fell off to the wayside and got forgotten about until about 1976. It was about 20 years, and 20 years of wear and tear had built up on the gun. And then my grandfather, Nick, father to Ron, decided that this thing needs a little help. So he did a complete restoration of the gun from the ground up. Starting with the stock, he stripped it clean, made it put a nice finish on it. Every inch of it is perfect. Added a little 1976 commemorative decal, and then proceeded to clean out the entire barrel. To now, it is perfect. And after that, the gun ended up with me. Now, why is this my favorite gun? I've got 2 generations of my family's father's hands in it. 1, buying it. 2, fixing it. And now 3, though I'm not a father, I'm out there shooting it. So 3 generations of Maxims, 1 little Mossberg 22, and a whole lot of stories to go with it. Let's hear from y'all right now. 404-872-0750 is the number. Give us a call. Let us know what's going on with your Father's Day plans. But in the meantime, let's talk to Rick in Douglasville. He's our prize pack winner. Rick, I hear you have the right answer that was given to Justin. What's the answer for the rest of us out here?
Zach Brown, Southern Grind Knives.
Absolutely correct, sir. Congratulations. You're going to have an awesome prize pack coming your way, and I'm assuming Justin got all of your information, correct?
Yes, sir. He sure did.
Outstanding. So, Rick, you got anything you want to tell us about Father's Day plans this weekend?
Well, I'm probably going to be working. As a matter of fact, I'm working right now. But anyway, that was a super package, and I appreciate that.
Oh,
and
no
that
problem.
that was a good story reference. Your Mossberg 22.
Oh, and let me tell you something. It's a really unique little gun in that the one thing that set it apart from everything else at the time was it has a fold-down monopod in the front that's built into the stock. It actually looks like the stock until you give it a flip, and then you got a monopod for stabilizing your shot. It's an excellent little tool.
Wow, that's interesting. My dad gave me I've got a Remington 22.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, I didn't think that much about 22s, but I mean, that's something to start with, and you can learn from that. And then I went into the military, and then I learned a lot about weapons and guns and
right on.
stuff like
hey, Rick,
that.
I'm sorry to say, I got a bill. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, no problems. I got some conflicting information here from the headquarters. No problem. I'm sorry. Continue, please.
Oh, okay. But anyway, no, I was just and it's interesting about weapons and guns and stuff like that, and so, but
yeah. And it's funny.
And
too,
you said,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you said you're from Wisconsin originally?
Negative. My father actually was born in Wisconsin in this little town called Coon Valley. It's on the southwestern side of the state near Lafayette. Now, myself, I've lived all over the place, sir. I've lived up and down the East Coast. As mentioned earlier, my family lived overseas for a little while in Holland, so I don't know if I'm really from anywhere. I have to say I'd go with the Johnny Cash, I'm from everywhere kind of an idea.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good. That's good, and that's super. Yeah. Well, that's a great prize package, and I'm going to enjoy that
for
Father's Day.
Do that thing, and thanks for calling, Rick. We really appreciate hearing from you, and hope you have a ton of fun with that stuff.
Okay. Oh, I certainly will. And hey, I appreciate you and O'Neill Williams and the program, because that is you've given it a great turn and a boost, and some great stories and everything. So, but anyway, I just want to thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, sir. You just made my morning. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, 404-872-0750 is the number. That will get you in touch with me. I got a couple callers here, but we're coming up on a break, and I don't think I want to run there quite yet. But I do want to remind you, jump on over to o'neilloutside.net. You can find a lot of great information there from O'Neill for hunting and fishing and so on. Plus, I want to tell you to take a look at O'Neill Outside, the book. Yes, there's a radio program, there's a television program, and there's a book. O'Neill Outside's People and Places Along the Way. You can order that at o'neilloutside.net and also pick it up on amazon.com. Why don't you do that? Give it a look. In the meantime, we're going to hit the break. We'll be back in just a couple. Good morning and welcome back to O'Neill Outside, special Father's Day edition. Give us a call. Tell us what your plans are for Dad. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. And we'll hit the phones right now and take care of a caller. Let's see. Line 1. Who have we got here?
Milton Crabapple.
Milton Crabapple. Good morning to you, sir, and happy Father's Day to you.
Well, much obliged to you. How are you? You're sounding good this morning.
Well, thank you very much, sir, and it is very good to be here this morning, can I tell you?
Well, I know you're filling in a big spot there for O'Neill. I know he appreciates it too. I just hope it works out okay. You know, sometimes when you try to help people, things don't turn out the way you thought they was going to.
Oh, really? No good deed goes unpunished?
Well, that's what they say. You know, I was telling O'Neill about a while back. You know, Ma Crabapple, a prime example. She's got this little bird, little parakeet she had. She'd had it for a long time. She loved that bird. That thing got to where it wouldn't eat. So I didn't know what to do. So I told the veterinarian about it, and he said, sometimes their beak will grow out too long, and they get to where they can't eat. He said, you need to bring him in. We need to file off the end of his beak, and then he'll be able to eat. I said, well, I can do it. I said, how much that cost? He said, it'd be about $100.
Huh.
I said, well, I ain't paying $100 just to get the end of a parakeet's beak filed off. I can do that myself. He said, well, you best not try that. I said, why not? He said, well, if you file off just a little bit too much of his beak, when he goes to drink water, he'll drown. I said, well, I'll be real careful with him. So I went to the hardware store, Crabapple Hardware, and I went in and told the fellow, I said, I want the smallest file you got. He said, what are you going to do with it? I said, well, my Crabapple's got a parakeet and it can't eat because his beak is too long, and I'm going to have to file the end of it off so he can eat. Well, this fella told me the same thing. He said, you better be careful. He said, if you file off just a little bit too much of that bird's beak, when he goes to drink water, he'll drown. I said, well, I'll be real careful. So I got the file, and I came home, and I filed off the end of the bird's beak, trying to be helpful. Well, now I got to get her a new bird.
Was a little too much of a heavy grit on that file?
No, I don't know what went wrong. He was dead when I took him out of the vise.
Oh, well, that is a problem. Yeah.
Just trying to help out. So.
No, I get it. Yeah, that how dare that bird die when you're helping it out like that too?
I don't know, but I just, I'm thinking about, you was talking about Father's Day,
Yes, sir.
We all think about this time. Your Grandpa Crabapple, now, I remember all the years being a little fella, and I guess what I miss the most is going hunting and fishing, Yeah. That was lots of fun, but the main thing about Grandpa Crabapple, he was always positive. He had a positive attitude right up until the end.
Oh,
I
that's
remember
a very good thing.
when he was just about gone, he was on his deathbed. They said it wasn't going to last but just a little bit longer, and they called in all the family and neighbors and all come over to the house. He was at home. And Grandma Crabapple went in there to check on him, and he said, what's all that noise going on in there in the other room? She said, well, that's all your friends and family. They've all come over here to say goodbye to you. He said, well, where are they going? Sure, he was positive right up to the end.
Yeah, I'm sure he carried that positive attitude in the great hereafter as well.
Well, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, you got any plans with Dude this weekend, by the way?
Got any what?
You got any plans to hang out with Dude?
Well, I'll probably see, dude. You know, we don't ever close the jail. One of us has got to check on it all the time. It stays open all the time, but we ain't got nobody in there right now, so everything's going good. We'll probably play some checkers.
Oh, well, that sounds like a great game plan there, sir. It sounds like a good way to kill a day.
Yeah. Well, you stop by the jail if you're in Crabapple. We'll play some checkers too.
Well, that sounds like a game plan, sir. Awesome.
All right, I'll check in with you later.
All right. Have yourself a great one, sir, and thank you, and happy Father's Day to you. All right. Milton Crabapple calling. You can call, too, 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255. Tell us about your favorite stories hanging out with Dad in the outdoors. I got another one for you here. We've covered the best, worst fishing trip ever. And we've covered the really cool little Mossberg, but I want to tell you about a time, and this is just kind of an outdoors thing. This isn't necessarily, a hunting and fishing thing, but this is an outdoors thing. And it happened when I was a kid in Cub Scouts with Dad. We had a Cub Scout trip to Cumberland Caverns in Tennessee when we were living in Atlanta. And when they told us what was in store for us, I think I was maybe 10, 11 years old at the time. You're going to be going down into a cave. You're going to see stalactites and stalagmites, and you're going to see all kinds of little creatures like blind fish and bats and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, wow, this is awesome. I can't wait. And, sure enough, we get on out there, and it's living up to the expectations. We walk way, way deep down into this cave, and, for the rest of the day, we did our little fair share of Cub Scout style spelunking, crawling through caves and crawling over rocks and in between these really tight gaps and underneath these really thin crawl spaces and through sticky mud. I mean, it was the time of my life. And at the end of the night, Dad and I are sitting in the cave just kind of hanging out, and they turn out the lights, and we just go to sleep. But it was just perfect because it was so quiet, so black, so dark. It was truly an interesting experience. So that being said, we had a great time going out of the cave. Next morning, went home, had breakfast, carried on as usual. Well, fast forward a few years later, I'm talking with Dad about the same trip, and I come to find out that my dad was losing his mind in that cave. It turns out he's a little bit apprehensive about closed-in spaces, not so much claustrophobic, just uncomfortable when he's in a space that's about an inch wider than he is. So I got to give it to my dad for taking one for the kid on that trip. Yes, he was uncomfortable. Yes, he was freaking out. But no, he never let on. No, he never complained. No, he never never showed me that he was in any way, shape, or form unhappy to be there. And knowing that now, that makes it one of the best trips I ever went on with my dad, simply because he showed me really firsthand how a dad is supposed to take one for the kid. And that was an awesome thing for him to do, and I truly appreciate it and will remember it forever. 404-872-0750. That's the number to get you in touch with me here at O'Neill Outside. And let's talk about Dad today. And you know what? Here's another thing, too, and I hadn't mentioned this up to this point. I want to hear from the ladies. That's right. I know there's a bunch of ladies out there that go out and do outdoor stuff with their dad. I think you're sorely underrepresented on this program, and I want to hear from you. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255, or if it's your thing, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Use the letters instead of the numbers. And, give us a call. Let us know what's going on with Dad this weekend. I got a couple more minutes here before we go to break. Why don't I get you up to speed with some stuff that's going on around the state as far as the lake conditions are concerned. If you're getting out on the lake for the weekend, well, I got a few conditions here for you to read out. We'll start with Lanier. The Lake Lanier is full. The creeks are stained, and the main lake is clear. The rivers up the lake and coves are very stained. Looking about an 80-degree temperature throughout the day. And what we're reading here, fishing on Lake Lanier has picked up in the last week. Since the weather is cooled, the fish are on the points and humps, 15 to 20 feet of water, depending on the time of day and conditions. They will continue to intensify their presence on the brush. So look for, activity in shallow rock points in the mornings. Offshore topwater bite is going to get stronger. Chuggers, walkers, poppers are all going to get bites today. Jumping on down, let's go to West Point Lake. It's also full and clear in 80s. The bass fishing is just going to be fair today. You're going to start with the top water during the low light hours, cast to the bank, and keep moving and cover a lot of super shallow water at West Point. Allatoona, 1 foot over full, looking good today. Fishing is great on Allatoona. Many of the fish moved offshore, and most of the fish are being caught 12 to 15 feet of water. Not finding large schools, though, so you're going to have to scout out for smaller packs, little groups, and good luck with that on Allatoona. Hartwell, you're 1.29 feet over full, so you're doing really well there with the water levels. The fishing is good there for the bass. Good top water bite with the buzz baits. Cast it on any cover and throw it right up on the bank. That will bring you some fish home. Lake Russell, full and clear as well. In the 80s today, and the bass fishing is good there. Get to the lake early. Take advantage of the top water bite. That'll really land them for you. Clark's Hill is down almost a foot, but clear, and the bass fishing is good. Start early using the top water lures. After your morning bite, move to long points and fish a Carolina rigged worm slowly. That sounds like a good plan. Lake Seminole now. Lake Seminole is down a little bit, about a half a foot, but the bass fishing is good, and the morning buzz baits and pop R's around Hydrilla are producing lots of quality fish, according to this report. So when the sun gets up, get ready to slow down, head to the ledges and grass lines in the mouth of Spring Creek, and use the Carolina rig with a Zoom watermelon seed lizard or a Zoom old monster. Sounds like a plan. All right, and let's see, Lake George, still good fishing there. Topwater bite around Hydrilla is good. Lake Oconee is full. The water temperature is 80 to 83 and clear, but heavy staining north of I-20 with good bass fishing, and the rain cooled the water down from last week, and the bass are feeding in the shallows early. So go hit that. Have yourself a great time. Lake Sinclair, we're going to wrap it up there. It's down about a foot and a half. A little stained today, but the bass fishing is good. Lots of fish in the fairly shallow water. Some have begun moving to the summer humps and points, however, so keep that in mind as you're out there today. Spinnerbaits and buzzbaits continue to produce good strikes during the early morning hours. So there you go. Lake report for Georgia. Get on out there and whack 'em. You're listening to O'Neill Outside on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB. And we are taking your calls, 404-872-0750, talking about Dad today. What have you done with Dad? What are you planning on doing with Dad? What's going to be the game plan for this weekend with Dad? Give us a call and let us know, because you know what? You might be giving somebody an idea out there for something to do that they haven't thought about this weekend. Why not take Dad fishing? Could be fun. Why not take Dad out for, I don't know, a little target shooting or a skeet and trap shoot? Just for fun. Go on out and do it. He's done a lot for you. You need to do a lot for him. And let's see, checking the phones again. We are still waiting for those calls. Ladies, give me a call. Let me know what's going on with you. Let's see, what else we got here today? We are going to be taking a look at the Ram Fishing Report a little bit later. Oh, forgot to mention this, the Medal of Honor tribute. We've got a guy today that's going to blow your mind. And here's the best part. The gentleman is still alive. So it's a pleasure to be able to report on a Medal of Honor recipient who is still alive, to know that we appreciate and recognize his sacrifices. A lot more coming up here on O'Neill Outside as well. We've got, oh gosh, what else, man? We should be hearing from Mac with a fishing report up at Lanier firsthand. And hopefully your calls, 404-872-0750. We're going to take a break here. We're going to wrap up the hour in just a bit, but don't go away. We got another hour of outdoors coming up in just a little bit. Stick around. You're listening to O'Neill Outside on a Father's Day weekend. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. O'Neill Outside, a special Father's Day edition here for you. We're wrapping up the first hour, but before we call it quits on this hour, I want to remind you, check out o'neilloutside.net, and specifically take a look at O'Neill's Oils. You know, he's got a line of oils here for your deck, for your reel, for your guns, and finishing oil for your guns as well. Now, all of these oils are natural oils. They're not made from petroleum products. They're all derived from natural green sources. They will penetrate wherever you use them better, more effectively, and in tighter spaces, the oils themselves will last much longer, 5 times longer on average than a comparable petroleum-based product. And here's the best part, no smell. Why is that important? One reason, so you don't smell. Who wants to smell like gun oil after cleaning? Then you got to go clean yourself off, deodorize. Nobody wants to smell like that. But more importantly, you don't want the deer smelling you. No scent. It's the no smell, no tell gun oil out there. O'Neill's Oils. Check them out at o'neilloutside.net. And we're still here on a Father's Day taking your calls. 404-872-0750. That'll get you in touch with me. We could talk about Dad this weekend, or we can talk about just about anything else you want to talk about. What's your game plan if Dad is not involved today? Are you going to go fishing? Are you going to go hunting? Or are you just going to hit the trail? Maybe take a few pictures of, I don't know, birds or something. That could be kind of fun. And, yeah, why not? Make a day of it and do that. I would just like to say this, though, before we get out of here. I want to give my dad, a shout-out. I've been talking about him a little bit here this morning. I just want everybody to know that my dad is the coolest dad. You may differ. I do not. And I want to also say that when it comes to defining fatherhood, my dad is definitely the guy. If you look him up in the if you look up fatherhood in the dictionary, there's his picture. Ron Maxim, 50 years my dad, 50 years of awesome fatherhood, and I'll tell you probably about a couple more of our little adventures coming up in the next hour. In the meantime, it's O'Neill Outside, Father's Day edition, 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. Let's line up those calls for the next hour. We'll talk to you then. Stand by, and we'll see you then.
From Black Powder headquarters and the Bojangles studio at Three Falls Cabin in the North Georgia mountains, it's time for O'Neill Outside. For anything in the outdoors, this is your source. Listen in and call the show with your comments or questions. And now, here's O'Neill.
Good morning. Welcome back. It's hour 2 of O'Neill Outside, special Father's Day edition. We're live in the South on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB. We're live in the North on WEEI Boston, the flagship station of the Boston Red Sox. Sorry about your Bruins, y'all. And coast to coast, left to right on SB Nation Radio. This hour, we're going to continue to talk about Dad's trips with us to the outdoors. We're going to talk to Mac, get a Ram fishing report a little later on. We're also going to do our Medal of Honor tribute. And at this point, I would like to remind you about something O'Neill's got going on. The O'Neill Outside Alaska Adventure 2020. June 14th through the 21st, O'Neill is inviting y'all to join him on an Alaskan cruise. They're going to, wow, from what I see on the picture online, it looks pretty amazing. Check it out for yourself, o'neilloutside.net. Scroll down the bottom of the page, you'll see it there. They want you to go with them. They've got plenty of cabins available, but they are selling fast. So jump on there and reserve now. That's o'neilloutside.net. Look for the O'Neill Outside Alaska Adventure 2020. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. That'll put you in touch with me here, and you can talk to me about Dad. Now, I do want to digress for just a moment, if I may. I came across something this week that is so perfect for today's show as far as a topic, although not father-related, granted, but it's perfect for it. Found a story that came out a couple days ago about research in England to find out how much nature we really need. So think about this. They're saying we need to get outside. O'Neill is saying you need to get outside. Somebody finally got the message. Check it out. I have quantified, these researchers, the ideal amount of time needed to reap the health benefits of the great outdoors. 120 minutes, 2 hours a week. It could be broken up in any way, shape, or form. It could be one solid chunk. It could be a bunch of small ones over the days. But the key is that 2 hours. Now, that being said, more time is not really necessary, apparently. They say these same researchers say 5 hours outdoors yielded little extra benefit to the two. morning, and welcome back to O'Neill Outside, special Father's Day edition. Give us a call. Tell us what your plans are with Dad this weekend, or if you have something special in mind for him. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. In the meantime, let's check in with Mac and get our Lake Lanier fishing report. Good morning to you, Mac. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Scott. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Highly caffeinated and very motivated as usual.
The only way to be, brother.
You know it, baby. You know it. Although I do catch heat for it. I drink Pepsi, and in a Coke town, I'm not looked upon too well.
Well, you might have to leave if you keep doing that.
Yeah, if I don't leave willingly, I'm sure I'll be run out on a rail and tarred and feathered.
Well, if you shop Home Depot and fly Delta, we might can slide on the Pepsi thing.
Well, I got the 2 out of 3 then, Mac.
All right, we'll let you stay with the intent of you improving on that.
Beautiful. What we got going on at Lanier, my man?
Man, we got a beautiful weekend. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. I hope you get a chance to get out on the water. Fishing's been good, and we're enjoying some unusually cool weather, mild weather, low humidity for middle of June, so take advantage of that. Everything's biting. Striper bites good, bass bites good. Even the crappie, if you want crappie fish, they're biting. And I'm getting the same vibe from other lakes in the area. Bite's good. If you're striper fishing, it's largely a live bait, downline bite, typical for this time of year. A lot of fish starting to gravitate to backs of pockets with the drains and over creek channels, maybe even out over the river channel. If you're bass fishing, no surprises here. The fish are on the offshore stuff, main lake brush, starting to get a little bit of a topwater bite, especially if you get a little cloud or wind cover. So the bottom line is we've got a good bite. The patterns are typical for this time of year, so you can't catch them if you don't go. Get out there and get after them.
Typical for this time of year. That's kind of unusual since we've had like an early heat and now this cool kind of a spell.
You know, it is. The weather, what an anomaly. You know, we had record heat in May, and I don't know if we've broken any records with this cool snap, but it's certainly way below average. I know when I got up yesterday here in the Beaufort area, we had 54 degrees. And I think we had up in the mountains in North Georgia, I think there was a couple recorded 49-degree temperatures, which is incredible for the middle of June. So, yeah, you would think with those kind of anomalies, we've had a lot of lake fluctuations, too. Going back really for the past 6 weeks, we've had some real high water, and then they pull it down. So, but it hasn't bothered the fish. The lake has fished well, and other area lakes have fished well, even through all of that. Those are a lot of ups and downs to deal with, so.
Yeah, I did a little report this morning of about 10 lakes I went through, and every one of them seemed like that they were all just in great shape to get some good hits today.
Oh, yeah. No, and we talked to people on other lakes, other guides. The Tennessee lakes, Carolina lakes are fishing real well. The guys in Alabama are telling me the same thing. So, yeah, for whatever reason, fishing's good. So wherever you're at this morning, get up and go fishing.
Let me ask you something, Max. Speaking of Tennessee, have you ever fished up around Nickajack?
I have. You know, Tennessee's got some excellent water. That whole Tennessee, if you basically go up the 75 corridor, all those lakes that are near or right off 75 are all outstanding striper fish. Some of the best striper fish in the water. But Nickajack is a very good one.
And it's huge, too.
Recently. It is. There's a lot of water up there. What's nice about that, too, Scott, you got a lot of water in that same area I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Which spreads the anglers out. A lot of places up there don't get a lot of fishing pressure. You don't have any huge metropolis like you do in Atlanta. You got Knoxville and you got Chattanooga, but there's so much water you can spread the anglers out and you don't get the crowds. It's some pretty water, very productive for bass and stripers. So, yeah, Nickajack's a good one, and so is Chickamauga.
Oh, yeah.
Watts Bar, just a lot of good water. Those guys are really lucky. They got a lot of different variety, too, as far as the species of fish. So, yeah, I don't get up there often anymore. Unfortunately, I stay really busy here, but, yeah, some excellent fishing up there.
Hey, look, staying busy here is not a bad thing, Mac.
That wasn't a complaint.
No. Hey, how can we make you more busy? What can people do to get in touch with you and arrange a little bit of a fishing tour of Lake Lanier?
They can find us online at CaptainMax.com. That's CaptMacks, and you can also see an expanded version of the Hayes Fishing Report we just gave you. We put that up usually on Friday night, so you can check that out. There's a Heartworm report on there as well.
Outstanding. Hey, thanks for the call, Mac, and have yourself a mighty awesome Father's Day. Oh, before you go, you got any plans?
Well, yeah, my daughter's home from school for a little bit, so I think we're gonna goof off. We'll probably go to the lake tomorrow afternoon, do a little swimming. Probably may or may not fish, but I think we're gonna just go out and enjoy the lake.
Well, that sounds like a mighty fine plan indeed, sir. You have yourself too much fun.
All right, Mr. Scott, have a great weekend, and again, happy Father's Day to everybody. Get out there, enjoy the lake, be safe.
Indeed. Thanks a lot, Mac. Take it light.
See you, buddy.
404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255 outside of the Atlanta calling area. That'll put you in touch with me, and we can talk about Dad. Now, I guess I can go back and talk about Dad again here, because why not? He's an easy guy to talk about, and he's a cool dude. So I'll tell you about a fishing expedition that was successful, quite unlike the Holland fishing expedition in the North Sea, where we caught more waves than fish. This was back when I was younger, about 8 years old. Excuse me. And my grandparents were living in Florida at the time, around Stuart, Florida, and that's on the East Coast. And so one day, Dad decides that his brother's in town, and it would be nice that if he and his brother could take me and my brother, Jeff, out fishing offshore. So we did. And I got to tell you, it was a tremendous experience. From the moment we got there to the moment we got out in the water, sunshine everywhere, beautiful day. The ocean was just as flat as can be. There wasn't anything going on, and the fishing was slamming. There were people all over this boat pulling in everything you can think of. Most of the fish that day, though, were triggerfish, which is actually kind of an interesting species, but I digress. The trip itself, fantastic. Everything you can ask for, except for one thing for yours truly. I wasn't getting any hits, and I couldn't figure out why. I was doing everything they told me to. We're fishing with squid, doing what they tell us to do. Nothing. So I got kind of frustrated. My uncle says, I'll tell you what, let me bait your hook, you hold my line, and we'll see if we can get you a fish here. And I said, all right, fine, let's do that thing. So he baited my hook, and while he was baiting my hook, I got a hit on his line. So I ended up reeling in a fish on his line, and he ended up with nothing, the poor guy. And my father just laughing his head off, checking it all out. It was a tremendous experience. It was hilarious in that my uncle, well, he was the one that was left out holding the bag, and me and my brother both got a fish. So it was an awesome day all the way around. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. I've got a call here from Richard in West Virginia. Richard, good morning. You're on O'Neill Outside. Hello, Richard.
Okie dokie, I'm here.
Right on. How you doing, my friend? What can we do for you?
I want to know, what type of fish is a salamander? What?
You mean like the little four-legged lizard-looking critter?
You know, I don't know, a lizard-looking. That's what your producer said, that it's a lizard-looking.
Yeah, salamanders are reptiles. They're lizards. They're sort of look. They're different looking than regular lizards. Typically a rounded nose, darker colors, that kind of thing. But definitely not a fish, sir.
It's not a fish.
No, sir.
But actually, when I was fishing, I caught one. There was a couple times that I caught one of them, and I'm just thinking, they almost look like, what do you call those type of fish that are they're killers? Oh, what's the name of that fish that's they put in there? That's I don't know. I'm having a hip and going. I can't think of what they're called. So that's they're not really a fish. They're just I don't know, a lizard.
Yeah, couldn't tell you for sure. I'd have to get a peep on it. But yeah, definitely not a fish, my friend. It's a lizard. It's a reptile. It's partly aquatic, I think, in its life cycle, which is maybe why you're yanking them out of the water. But definitely not a fish, Richard. Hey, buddy, got to bail, but thanks for calling. We look forward to hearing from you, and we will talk to you again next time. In the meantime, you're listening to O'Neill Outside on News 95.5 AM 750 in the South. In the North, WEEI Boston, home of the Sox. And coast to coast on SB Nation. Don't go anywhere. More outdoors when we return. Good morning. Welcome back. We are in the second hour of O'Neill Outside. We're talking outdoors here this morning, and we are talking Father's Day plans for outdoors or Father's Day memories. Give us a call, 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. That'll put you in touch with me, and we can talk about Dad. In the meantime, let's go to the phones. We've got Bill in New Hampshire, and I am so glad you called today, Bill. You have a water safety thing?
Yes, sir. I am a police officer on the water up here in New England. So I'm out there in the water when everybody's out there fishing, enjoying their time. And I just want to reiterate, this is the time of year this tragedies happen out there. I just want to remind everybody about water safety, obviously, and wear those life jackets. We're out there having a good time, but, things happen out there so fast.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen one tragic story after another of either somebody not wearing their life vest and getting hit in the head and then drowning, or the old cliche of alcohol and boating don't mix. So we run into a problem there. Yeah,
our problem here is a lot of the states, they allow the alcohol on the boats. They trust people to be safe and to have a good time, but not everybody adheres to that. So, but the days of stopping somebody out there fishing with a boatload of empty beer cans, those days seem to be gone, in my opinion. That people are serious about their fishing, and they take it seriously, and then that's a good thing.
Yeah, no question about it. I'm guessing you're a fisherman as well, Bill?
Yes, I go out there a little bit. I don't have a lot of time. Obviously, I'm spending my weekends out there on the waters,
Right on. Yeah, no problem. And, you got any plans for the weekend here with the Father's Day festivities?
Well, I'm going to be out there patrolling the whole weekend, out there on the water, just making sure people are safe, and and so that's my contribution. Go out there early in the morning, and I'd like to see the dads and the sons out there. Remember the safety equipment, review what you have, your life jackets, your fire extinguishers, things like that. Make sure remember to put that registration sticker on your boat that's registered. People forget this time of year. It's the first time out sometimes,
Yeah. Don't need to catch any hassles from you, huh?
No. It just I just want everybody to be safe, but like I said, it's just the time of year. It's always you find some type of tragedy that happens, and so much of it can be prevented,
Well, absolutely, Bill. And your message is ringing loud and clear. Let me tell you what, I'm so happy you called with that message today, because nobody needs a Father's Day weekend with an unfortunate tragedy involved.
Oh, absolutely. Make it all a positive thing for the kids to remember.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, too. Let's all remember to bring the kids out, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what this is all about. We got to pass this outdoors knowledge and experience on to them.
Yes, we must. I just want to call up and give my 2 cents.
Well, thank you very much, Bill. And I'll tell you the truth, too. Now that we're up there in Boston on WEEI, it's really neat to see these phone calls come in from your part of the country. That's kind of a new thing for me. So,
sure.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing up here, too, is the waters are still cold. So the survival rate of people falling in the water, it's still very cold. So the other good reason for the life jackets. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Bill. We really appreciate your help this morning.
All right. Thank you so much. Good to
No problem.
Guys.
Have a great one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Bill from New Hampshire, and he's got some sage advice. Make sure the safety gear is checked out before you hit the lake, please. And do not go out in the water unless you're wearing a life vest. That's the first thing that you need to put on before you even set foot in the boat. So please remember to do that. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. Looking for callers to tell us about what the plans are this weekend with Dad. Are you going out fishing? Are you going to go hunting? Hey, we had a guy earlier talking about, he played a trick on me. It was Ocean Isle, North Carolina friend. He told me he was going out hogging. Well, if that's your game plan today, let us know that's in the works. Whatever works for Dad works for us here at O'Neill Outside. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. Let me take a time right now to remind you to hit o'neilloutside.net. Look for the Fish and Game Forecast, sponsored by Realtree. That's the 2019 version of the Fish and Game Forecaster, and They also include, there's a moon clock there as well. It's $11.95 for the Fish and Game Forecaster. It'll give you all kinds of information about daily peak activity periods, strengths of fishing activity, good, fair, excellent. Also allows you to log in your catches. Lots of good stuff there. It's only $11.95. You can order now at www.moontimes.com. You can find it at o'neilloutside.net. 404-872-0750. Give me a call. Let me know what your game plan is for this weekend. So, we have somebody popping in. I'll let Justin take care of getting that all in place. Want to remind you also that O'Neill Outside's homepage, o'neilloutside.net, has a lot of information for you there as far as hunting and fishing tips. Also, some great products there to check out, like the Big Green Egg and Swaggerty's Farm products for sausages and such. All good stuff for you right there, o'neilloutside.net. Excellent. We've got Clifford calling from Gainesville this morning. Good morning, Clifford, and welcome to O'Neill Outside. Thanks for calling.
Hi, I just wanted to remember my dad.
By all means, let's hear about it.
He was in some Georgia outdoor magazines back in the 70s.
No kidding. And what was his forte?
Grouse hunting and bird hunting.
No kidding. That's pretty cool.
November of 75, and Jimmy Carter was on the back cover of that particular issue.
Well, I'm sorry.
I don't know if that magazine's worth anything, but my dad being in it's making it a lot worth to me.
No, it's priceless. Let's be honest with ourselves. Not too many of our dads get memorialized in magazines, right?
Right. The article wasn't about him. It was about grouse, but at least his picture in our old Jeep pickup was in there.
Oh, wow. Do you have any special memory you'd like to share about going out with your dad hunting or anything?
Yeah, he worked at B.F. Grant and Cedar Creek when I got back from the service in '82, and I did some volunteer work down there myself, and I enjoyed those days.
Oh, man. Sounds like fun. Well, Clifford, I really appreciate you giving us a call here on O'Neill Outside this morning. Go out and have yourself a great Father's Day weekend, okay?
Will do.
All right, excellent. And give us a call. Let us know what goes on next week. In the meantime, if you want to follow Clifford, the number 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255 outside of the Atlanta calling area. And I'm going to give you a little extra additive incentive here to call up and wish Dad a happy Father's Day, because O'Neill Outside, in addition to being live radio coast to coast, is also a podcast. You can find the link at o'neilloutside.net. Once we're done with today's program, we'll package it up, throw it up for the podcast for you guys to download at your convenience so you can listen to O'Neill Outside anytime you like. And the best part about that is if you want to call up and talk about Dad, he doesn't necessarily have to be up at 5 in the morning to hear it. You can download it, email it to him, or have him listen to it right there and enjoy your time with Dad. Listen to him getting talked up on the radio. And you know what? I think I'm going to talk my dad up again here on the radio. One of the things that's very interesting about my father is his evolution from kind of outdoorsman to golfer, strangely enough. He's hunting birds these days, which is kind of funny. It gets him outside, and he enjoys doing it. And I might add, he's at the point now where he's shooting his age in golf and winning some club championships. Came close this year, Dad. One shot shy, but did a good job. But essentially what happened was, as I mentioned earlier, my father grew up in a rural town in Wisconsin, Coon Valley, and at about 16, his dad decided, we're going to the city. So he up and moved the entire family to Long Island, New York, which, if you can imagine, coming from a town of about 500 to Long Island, New York, the culture shock that you would have experienced as a young man must have been incredible. But my dad learned to adapt. He unfortunately kind of had to give up the whole outdoorsy thing, but made time to go out and hang out at the shore, and he was a pitcher on his high school team and do all the normal stuff that kids do. But I don't think the outdoors ever left him, because as we went on and as he got older and as he became a father, he'd always make sure to take us out on trips, going to the mountains or going to the beaches, or just going outside and enjoying ourselves. Matter of fact, kicking us outside, getting us off the Atari like a good father should. And but as time has gone on, he's found a way to incorporate the outdoors more in something that's less country fried, if you will. His thing now is getting outdoors and playing golf 4 or 5 times a day, or a week. He's gotten really, really good at it. Very inspiring man in that regard. And the best thing about it that I really dig is the fact that after he retired, he wanted a challenge. He needed a challenge. He wanted to go out and play the best golf that he could. And I appreciate that, because when you're always trying to do something better, you inspire others, and that's what fathers do. They inspire you to greatness. They inspire you to go beyond what you are. And my father has definitely done that. And to be completely honest with you, I would not be sitting here today but for that encouragement. I truly appreciate it. I love you, Dad, and I will be seeing you guys pretty soon. In the meantime, you're listening to O'Neill Outside on News 95.5 AM 750 WSB, on WEEI Boston, and nationwide on the SB Network. Looking for your calls to celebrate Dad this weekend. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. That'll put you in touch with me here, and we'll talk about your dad. Don't go anywhere. More outdoors coming up on O'Neill Outside.
Honor, courage, and strength of character. These qualities are embodied by the recipients of the Medal of Honor. Now let's recognize this week's Medal of Honor recipient on O'Neill Outside.
Today. Oh, we got an amazing one here for you today. Michael John Fitzmaurice, Medal of Honor recipient, U.S. Army, Vietnam, 1971. Fitzmaurice and 3 fellow soldiers were occupying a bunker when a company of North Vietnamese soldiers infiltrated the area. At the onset of the attack, Fitzmaurice saw 3 grenades which had been thrown into the bunker. Realizing the danger to his comrades and with complete disregard for his personal safety, he hurled 2 out of the bunker, then threw his flak vest and himself over the remaining charge. By this courageous act, he absorbed the blast and shielded his fellow soldiers. Although suffering from serious multiple wounds and partial loss of sight, he charged out of the bunker and engaged the enemy until his rifle was damaged by the blast of another grenade. While in search of another weapon, Fitzmaurice encountered and killed an enemy soldier with his bare hands and stole his rifle. He returned to his original fighting position and inflicted additional casualties on the attackers. Although seriously wounded now, Fitzmaurice refused to be medically evacuated, preferring to remain at his post. Fitzmaurice's extraordinary heroism in action at the risk of his life contributed significantly to the successful defense of the position and resulted in saving the lives of a number of his fellow soldiers. These acts of heroism go above and beyond the call of duty. Mr. Michael Fitzmaurice, U.S. Army, is still alive and living in North Dakota. If anybody out there knows this guy, please let him know that he has been very much appreciated, as I've read this morning, by not only myself, but pretty much everybody listening to this program, I'm thinking. So, yeah, Mr. Fitzmaurice, thank you for your service to our nation. 404-872-0750 is the number, 800-972-8255. Want to hear from y'all out there with your plans for Dad this weekend for Father's Day. You going anywhere? You doing anything? Come on, let me know. Let the rest of the world know. Give us some ideas about how we can honor Dad this weekend. 404-872-0750 and 800-972-8255. So I want to go back to this article that I read earlier. I really didn't have enough time to hit it as much as I would have liked to have. But I want to talk about this 120 minutes a week outdoors concept. It is about getting outside. It is about getting the fresh air. It is about some sunshine, which helps the body produce some vitamin D and keeps you healthy. But more than that, it's about relaxation, people. Think about this. Every day, you go to work, and you deal with the stresses of work 8 hours a day. You deal with the stresses of the job. You deal with the stresses of the boss, working environment, whatever. And what are you breathing all day? Recirculated air, stuff filled with viruses from little virus factories we like to call children. It's basically just recycled over and over again. And obviously that is not the case outdoors. That's another health benefit. Get outside and, enjoy some fresh air, walking around, aerobic exercise. Move more, eat less. You'll lose weight. There are so many benefits, not only physical, but mental, that come from getting outside of the office, getting outside of the house, and just sitting someplace quiet in the woods or at the beach and listening to the waves or listening to the birds and just taking in all that nature has to offer. It's a tremendous way to spend the day, and doctors have shown it's improving to your health. Let's go back to the phones. I've got Jimmy in Marietta. He's got some Father's Day story he wants to tell us. What's going on, Jimmy? Good morning, and welcome to O'Neill Outside.
Good morning. Like you, just heading out to work here.
Right on. What we going to work on the weekend? What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to celebrate my father and memories of my wonderful father. He was not a hunter, but he loved to fish, and he loved to fish on the North Carolina coast, on the surf and on the piers of the North Carolina coast. And so the fall or the spring took us to the Outer Banks of North Carolina on a regular basis. I spent many, many, many days in the fall and September and October on the Avon Pier in Avon, North Carolina. That pier is no longer there. It was blown down by a hurricane, catching spots, croakers, bluefish, wahoo, king mackerel. He'd always take me out of school 1 week of every fall, and we'd go down and we would fish, and then we'd go every other weekend if we could, as far down south as Surf City on the North Carolina coast. The early 80s, he finally got a four-wheel drive pickup truck, so we were able to get out and go all the way out to Cape Hatteras and then down further south to Ocracoke on the in the surf and catch fish, every kind of fish that you can imagine that hung out on the North Carolina coast. Puppy drum up to the big drum. So it was just an amazing thing, Dad passing on that love of the sea, fishing on the shore on the North Carolina coast. It was an amazing memory and a great man, and the memories that we had not only on the surf, but then deep sea fishing off the North Carolina coast with our family. Just amazing memories, and wish that everyone would do that, pass that on to their kids and especially their families.
Oh yeah,
get their families out on the coast or on a boat on a special trip. So that's all I had to say, and hope you guys have a great weekend. And like you said, hey, nothing like being outside. Had the camper up at McKinney for about 10 days, and even though we were working, we'd take some time to get up there and spend the night, spend the morning in the outside, and the weather's just been gorgeous. So everybody get outside and enjoy yourselves.
Right on. Hey, Jimmy, I want to say one thing before I bail here.
Yeah.
I got to give your dad props, because yanking you out of school for a week to go fishing is pretty darn cool.
Well, there was one time, probably about 77, that I was, let's just say I was removed from school for an extended period of time due to the fact that I was mischievous.
A little disciplinary action.
Yes, and my father ran a construction company. He told me, he said, son, he said, for 1 week, you were going to work, and you're going to work hard. And I did. He said, but the second week, we're going to Avon.
Oh, okay.
So that's how he handled that.
Right on. Well, you sound like you had a great dad, and thank you so much for sharing that story and his love of fishing with us today.
Have a great day, my friend.
Do the same, Jimmy. We'll talk to you later. All right, and following Jimmy, we have Albert calling from New Hampshire again, no doubt listening on WEEI in Boston. What's going on, Albert?
Hey, Scott. Yes, I am listening on WEEI.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having the Father's Day show today. My father, we didn't spend much time together, but in my early days, he was. I was lucky enough to do some small pond fishing up here in New Hampshire, catching the pumpkin seeds and bluegills and some hornpout every now and then. But when he moved down to Florida, in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, that's where my fishing really got exposed over there. Doing pier fishing, fishing for blue crab, fishing for shrimp. Getting down to the Intercoastal Waterway. Me and my two older brothers, we'd bike down there and stop at the store, get our shrimp, stake our land, get our shrimp bait out there. But he hasn't been around. I haven't seen him in a while, but I still drive to fish all the time. I've called earlier. I like the ice fish. I like to fish for trout, bass. So, but anyway, yeah, I didn't get to see him much, but he did instill some good outdoor stuff with me. I have 3 daughters. They're a little bit outdoor shy, but they still get out there. I did teach them to fish and bring them ice fishing. So, but I just appreciate the show today, and I'm just glad that you're talking about the fathers out there.
Yeah, no, and it's actually something that needs to be done. I mean, not just on Father's Day, to be completely honest with you. These are the guys that are the ones that 90% of the time are introducing us to the outdoors and outdoor activities. So, yeah, giving them props is a good thing on this show.
That's true, Scott. Have a great day. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you very much, and we really appreciate you listening. Call again, why don't you? We love hearing from you guys up there in New England.
I've called a few times. I'll call back.
Right on, Albert. Have a great one. 404-872-0750 in the Atlanta calling area. That'll let you follow Albert on the phone. 800-972-8255. That's outside the metro calling area, and that's how you get in touch with us if you're out and around outside of Georgia. So, man, we are getting so many great calls today about trips with Dad and stuff like that. I'd still like to hear from the ladies, though. That's the one thing that I'm not hearing from this morning is the ladies who are doing the outdoor things with Dad, growing up with Dad, going outdoors, or going fishing with Dad, or something like that. I want to hear about the ladies because let me tell you something. For me personally, if I find that a lady is into the outdoors, well, you know what? I'm suddenly interested because if she wants to get outside and run around a little bit and have a good time, then I am definitely compatible with someone of that nature. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255 are the numbers to call us. And I want to remind you, the O'Neill Outside podcast is available as well. You can catch that on SoundCloud, or you can listen at o'neilloutside.net. Every week, we chop up the shows. We throw them up there for you to download at your convenience, and you can listen to them anytime you want. Especially today is a great idea, because if you're going to give Dad a tribute, you can have him listen to it anytime he wants. So, boy, check it. It's an MP3 archive of your love for Dad. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255 are the numbers. And, oh, gosh, what else can we talk about here this morning with regard to Dad? How about another Dad story for you, okay? I got a good Dad story. Geez, there's so many of them to work with. How about I just give you a little bit of a character analysis, if you will, or a profile of my father. Being a Midwestern country guy growing up, he is definitely not one to grow up around BS. I mean, it is down to earth, it is real, and that is a quality about my father that I've always appreciated. He does not pull punches. He does not lay on the sweet stuff. He will tell you exactly what you need to know, when you need to know it, and it may not be always how you need to hear it, but it's definitely there. And my dad's wisdom has carried over in so many areas of life as well. Like we were talking about with getting outdoors and stuff, just being able to see and learn and see things. But more than that, he's been kind of a teacher. And I'll tell you kind of it's not really an outdoor story, but it's the best example I can think of that my father ever taught me a lesson. And as I was talking earlier, I mentioned that I lived in Holland for a while with my family, and my father would regularly take us on trips around Europe. We've been to Switzerland, we've been to, Germany, England, Ireland, and so on. Well, on one particular trip, Dad had told us that we were going to go to Dachau. And if you do not know Dachau, it is one of the worst prison camps, extermination camps from World War II. And the horrors that were carried out there are indescribable. And as a 16-year-old kid, I'd studied history a little bit in school and learned some things, but never, and I understood what was going on there, let's put it that way. But the first-hand experience wasn't there until my dad came along. And he made it a point for us to go and see this place. Now, I will confess, I did not want to go, and I was fighting it the entire time. But he told me to shut up and just go learn something. So I did. And what I learned was that the horror that you've read about or heard about cannot compare to being there in person. And his lesson wasn't one of showing me everything that I needed to see and walking me around. He brought me to Dachau. He turned me loose. And he said, just go and look. And after about a half hour, it was highly, highly impactful. And what I got from that is that my dad doesn't always have to teach me something or say something to make a point. He can make a point just by putting you someplace to learn firsthand. And a lot of dads will do that. Give us a call here, 404-872-0750. We're going to cut out for a minute, but when we get back, we're going to wrap up the show. This week's O'Neill Outside. Come on back. We're going to wrap up the show here, this last segment, and I want to make sure we get one more call in here. I got Jimbo calling from Las Vegas. Jimbo, we got about a minute. Tell us what's on your mind here on O'Neill Outside today.
You know, O'Neill, I'm going to do the best I can, and you brought up maybe having, a mom involved in a story like a father story.
Yes, sir.
So my dad, he grew up in Westchester, actually Greenwich, Connecticut, and him and his father, my grandfather, would sail these huge 32-foot sailboats in Long Island Sound.
Oh.
We buy a 16-foot fiberglass cool sailboat for our summer house, and my dad, the big sailor, capsizes the boat with me on the lake in Portchester, in Westchester County, just north of New York City. He gets the boom stuck on the bottom of the lake. The rudder, blah, 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 it's fiberglass. We were able to, put it on top of the car to bring it up to our summer house. And we can't move. So I had to swim in to shore, about 3/4 of a mile. My dad was a Boy Scout troop master.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Jimbo swimming of Arab edge. My mom's, I got up to the dock, my mom's like, "Where's your father?" I go, "He's out there." And they went bananas. They got the rowboat and all this, and it's like my mom and my grandfather there. And I just swam into shore. I'm like, "What's the big deal?" I go, he has never known how to do all this. And
that's hilarious. Hey, Jim, I love that story, and thank you so much. That's a real high note we can end the show on. I do have to bail, though, my friend, and thank you for calling. Call us back again sometime. Well, it's been a blast, y'all. O'Neill Outside for the weekend, Father's Day weekend. And yours truly, Scott Maxim, is honored to be here. I'm so happy to be able to talk about my father. I'm so happy to have y'all talk about your fathers. And I hope we can do this again next year. That'd be kind of cool. In the meantime, I would advise you to hit o'neilloutside.net, find out the latest hunting and fishing news, and stay tuned to News 95.5 and AM 750 because we got a whole day of really great stuff ahead of you. Thanks for having me in your radio this morning. Look forward to talking to you again next time. Scott Maxim for O'Neill Outside. Later on.
I once asked a mighty hunter, coming home from the field, how he came to possess such mighty hunting and fishing skill. He said, "I'll tell you a secret, son. I learned everything I know from listening to O'Neill Outside on my radio." O'Neill, O'Neill.